Howdy guys! So today we're going to be doing a presentation about sexual health. The show that we're using for an example today is Bridgerton. My name is Lexi Lanuen.
My name is Jennifer Velasquez.
And my name is Mary Rosales. So for our summary of media source, we're gonna use obviously Bridgerton. Bridgerton is a Netflix series that began in 2020. But we are mostly focusing on Daphne's storyline in season one. Her lack of knowledge about sexual health leads to confusion, poor communication, and unhealthy decisions making in her relationship. This connects directly to our circle of sexuality, which is connected to sexual health. Um, Bridgerton was created by Chris and produced by Shonda through her company Shondaland in a partnership with Netflix. Shonda is a credible media producer, but she is not a health expert. Their background is in entertainment and not medicine or sexual health. So the show's perspective is more cultural and historical drama, and it's designed for entertainment rather than designed for education. According to the CDC, sexual health information should be medically accurate and taught by qualified experts, which is very different from how sex and reproduction is presented in Bridgerton. So before we move on onto the circle of sexuality, we're going to show a short clip from Bridgerton, the season one. And Indecent, it shows how Daphne's lack of understanding is about pregnancy.
Why is that silent? What is wrong? You should have run for me. I need you to tell me something, Rose. How does a woman come to be with child?
Your mother.
My mother told me nothing. Please. No embarrassment. Explain it to me. Precisely.
So our what we chose for our circle of sexuality was sexual health. Our example is obviously how Daphne's lack of understanding about how pregnancy works. She doesn't know that pregnancy requires both sperm and egg. Um, this shows the dangers of poor sexual education and how misinformation can negatively affect relationships and decision making. It also, and yeah.
So the misinformation in Bridgerton is how marriage is a requirement and the only way a woman can conceive a child with a man. Or another way they explain it to them is when two people love each other very much, they get married and they have a kid, but they don't explain how. And I'm gonna show a short clip that shows that.
The bath already? How does a lady come to be with child? Eloise, what's a question? I thought we needed to be married. Whatever are you talking about? Apparently it's not even a requirement. Eloise, that is more than enough.
And this statement can be misleading because the factual information of how a child is conceived isn't disclosed to them, and so instead they come up with assumptions from what they do know and have seen around their social life. And according to the National Library of Medicine, unprepared pregnancies occur at a larger percentage than intended pregnancies due to a lack of knowledge. The statement is also using manipulation to scare away the girls or from having casual or sexual thoughts with any man if they're not married to them, in order for them to stay pure for marriage. And the World Health Organization states that teaching about sex ed leads to more responsible and informed decisions, which statistically leads to an older age where they choose to engage in those acts. A negative health behavior that can be observed from Bridgerton, a viewer may believe the misinformation and avoid any sexual experiences due to the fear of ending up pregnant because of loving someone, and that increases the risk of lack of education in several things such as contra- contra- contraception, boundaries, diseases, consent, and pleasure. This would increase the likelihood of them ending up hurt or pregnant when they do engage in these acts with poor decision making. According to the Health of Organization, the use of abstinence only education can lead to risky sexual decisions, such as not like having the resources or knowledge of how contraception works, or like STDs and how like you get them. A way to address the misinformation would be like saying, like, as a matter of fact, research shows that getting married is not like the only way to like conceive a child, and also not the only reason to engage in sex. According to the Center for Disease Control, 40% of births come from unmarried women in the US. And in order to have a healthy sex life, receiving factual and medically accurate information from credible sources can help people practice safe sex and sexual health. The idea of only having sex to conceive is wrong, as it can also help build a strong emotional connection with your partner or pleasure, as stated by Planned Parenthood.
So in this episode, we discover how pregnancy occurs and how one comes of child. According to Planned Parenthood, this act signifies the union of sperm and egg, and once they successfully meet together, the egg then becomes fertilized and it embeds itself into the uterine wall, which then results into pregnancy. So this part of this information is accurate within the episode. So some discussion questions that we have for you guys today. One is, how might a lack of accurate sexual health information influence an individual's ability to make informed decisions in regards to their reproductive health? So to elaborate on that, how could having misinformation or having no information at all affect one when it comes to making decisions regards to their reproductive health? And for question 2, we have, how might engaging in negative sexual health behaviors such as relying on misinformation or not using contraception or avoidance of medical advice impact an individual's well-being physically and emotionally? And to elaborate on that more, how may negative information prevent someone from applying accurate sexual health education? And for positive health behavior, so based off what we've learned through this episode, it's important that young adolescents are educated upon sexual health, allowing them to apply what they learn in future situations in the long run as they get older, or if they come into scenarios soon. It's important to know and have those knowledge and tools needed to make accurate choices in regards to staying healthy and protecting your own self and others.
And that's all we have. Thank you for watching.